The Diddy scandal just hit a whole new level, and it's way past whispers and rumors now. That leaked audio clip flying around the internet, the one that supposedly catches Meek Mill and Diddy in a wild, compromising moment, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Word from federal insiders is that the FBI isn't just holding on to that one clip. They've got hours of footage, uncut and raw, showing exactly what went down at those now infamous freak-off parties. And what's on these tapes? Folks who've seen it are calling it graphic, emotional, and straight-up incriminating. It's not just the visuals either. Apparently, some big-name rappers were straight-up crying after whatever madness unfolded in those rooms. This is way bigger than just some tabloid chatter now. These tapes are expected to take center stage in the ongoing Diddy investigation, and once they're played, there's no turning back. So who were the artists caught up in all this? Who did Diddy allegedly manipulate to the point of tears? Let's kick it off with the bombshell that's been circling for over a year. The leaked audio. It supposedly features Meek Mill and Diddy in a seriously questionable situation. And get this, a former security guard says he recorded it himself during one of those late-night freak-off events.
You personally, you think they got tapes?
Well, my personal opinion that if Lil Rob could be trusted and his statements are true, they got him. They got tapes of stuff.
Now, if Diddy had tapes, the feds have them. That's a lot of blackmail.
Even crazier, the guard claims these weren't just random flukes. According to him, there's a stash of footage showing multiple major stars caught in similar situations, filmed without them even knowing. The FBI's got their hands on even more footage now as part of their deep dive into the Diddy investigation. And this is where things start getting real wild. One of the earliest tapes they allegedly uncovered, it involves none other than Usher.
Lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle,
Right.
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody
it was crazy.
tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't
But
say
you
that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people
all
are
of
hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans,
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Now, a lot of folks forget this, but Usher actually lived with Diddy when he was just 13, under a so-called mentorship program. But according to several industry insiders, that setup might have taken a twisted turn. Rumors say Usher ended up in the hospital after one intense night at Diddy's mansion.
Mind me asking, because I know the topic is sensitive. What happened to Usher?
Kid to the hospital. How you send him to the hospital? Man, nigga was bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what happened. So, and just to hear this, and this new thing where they saying that they got kids coming forward and said that he did that, man, that's crazy.
And that's when everything changed. Out of respect, let's tread lightly here, but facts are facts. Years later, Usher gave interviews where he stayed vague, only saying that Diddy showed him another side of the industry and exposed him to stuff he wasn't ready for. But now, reading between the lines, those words sound way heavier.
Do you have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem.
Yeah.
I had like,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
A producer who was close to both of them back then recently spoke out, saying Usher was different after that night. More guarded, quiet, like something shifted. And if you've ever noticed, Usher barely brings up those days now. Whenever someone asks, he brushes it off or dodges the topic completely. But here's the kicker. Usher isn't the only one caught up in this twisted web, not by a long shot. Another explosive tape reportedly sitting in the FBI's vault features none other than YK Osiris. And this one's got people seriously side-eyeing his whole connection to Diddy. His strange behavior over the past few years has raised a lot of eyebrows, and the timeline makes it all even messier. Back in early 2021, YK publicly admitted he was broke, flat out said he was struggling and sold off all his flashy rides. Lambos, Bentleys, the whole fleet, gone. Then boom, just weeks later, he pops up living it up at a high-end resort in Jamaica, the same place Diddy just happened to be chilling at too.
Yeah, for sure, man. I went broke so goddamn quick, man. Like, back then, oh my, like 3 years, like 2.5, not 3 years ago, when Worth It came out, man, I blew that money so goddamn fast, man.
What did you buy?
Shit. I gave my mama like $250, and then by the time you know it, taxes.
Exactly.
I said, cause I ain't know like the taxes come out now. They come out during that year. By the time you know my account said, "This how much you owe?" I said, "Shit."
How much did you owe?
I think I owe like 190 or something.
190,000.
Yeah, something like that. But it was crazy. The money went so quick, bro. It like when you don't have it, it's like when you get it, your mindset changed so many things. Like you start buying so much things.
It gets sketchier. When YK was grilled about their relationship on The Breakfast Club, he didn't clear the air. Nope, he got awkward, blushed, and nervously laughed his way through the whole interview.
Have you ever met Diddy?
Yeah.
Okay, did he ask you to party?
Yeah.
Party?
Man.
Don't maybe put his fantasies on you.
Bad tonight.
Man. Every time I went with Diddy, that man's the vibe. That must be Diddy bopping. I be trying to know how to Diddy bop. That man fire.
Now you know.
No real answers, just weird energy. Now insiders say one of the tapes the feds found might finally reveal the truth behind YK's sudden lifestyle flip and why his vibe completely shifted. The footage reportedly captures what went down on those private getaways, and word is, if even half of what's being whispered is true, it's seriously disturbing. This thing is way deeper than anyone thought, and if that tape leaks, Diddy might not be the only one whose career crashes. Let's not forget about Aaron Carter, whose struggles with mental health and substance issues were public long before his heartbreaking death. But behind the scenes, there was more going on than people realized. According to those close to him, Aaron had been to multiple high-profile industry parties when he was still young.
I get back to the Sheraton Hotel at Universal over here. There's 4 FBI agents waiting for me in the hotel room. And my mom's there and she's like, "Tell them what happened." And I'm like, "What do you mean, tell them what happened?" And I sit down with them and they all ask these super sexually exploited, questions, back-sided questions. And I knew that at my age already. And I looked at all 4 of them and I said, "Are y'all crazy?" I said, "What you think I'm gonna do? Tell you that Michael did something bad so that we can sue him for money?" That's what I told him. I was like, "You're crazy." And I looked over at my mom and I was like, "Are you serious, Mom?" I was like, "What is going on here? Why are you letting this happen?" And she goes, well, I think something happened, I think something. I'm like, "Really? That man did nothing but be hospitable, kind, loving, giving, everything you could think."
And whatever he witnessed there left him shaken for life. A former manager came forward claiming Aaron got pulled into circles he had no business being in during his teen years, and in the final months before his passing, Aaron had started quietly speaking out, dropping hints about disturbing things he went through at Hollywood gatherings. While he never said Diddy's name out loud, the timing and tone of his statements had people reading between the lines.
Only good thing about a start is they burn up, say turn up, say turn up.
Do you regret ever getting involved?
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old. Because when I did MTV Cribs, the day that I had to go show off that house, my mom and my dad told me, "We're getting a divorce, but you still have to go do this." I had to go show off all the stuff my whole life that was going to be taken away from me.
Now shifting gears, Burna Boy's name entering the mix definitely caught people off guard. In 2020, Diddy suddenly popped up as the executive producer for Burna's Twice as Tall album, despite them having no history together, and just like that, they were everywhere, posting videos, doing lives, constantly being seen together like best friends overnight. This out-of-nowhere partnership had fans buzzing, and rumors took off fast. Online chatter started surfacing with unconfirmed claims, and even some sketchy images floating around, some of which people say were altered or edited in shady ways. Still, the whispers haven't gone quiet since, and folks are starting to question what really went down behind that sudden connection. On the surface, it all looked like a regular music collab, but behind the scenes, industry insiders were raising eyebrows over how fast Diddy and Burna Boy linked up, and how even faster that relationship vanished once the album dropped. No follow-ups, no projects, just silence. That's not how high-profile partnerships usually go. Then there's Orlando Brown, the only one bold enough to openly call out what he claims Diddy did to him.
Yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash gooshmash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf, the smooshmash. Diddy. Yeah, son. Gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take the but he won't you.
In multiple wild interviews, Orlando straight up said he was forced into situations with several rappers, including some of the most famous names in the game. And while a lot of folks brushed him off as unstable, some industry vets are starting to look at him differently now. Jaguar Wright, a music journalist who's been pulling back the curtain on the entertainment world, recently said something that hit hard. She believes Orlando's crazy act is actually on purpose. According to her, it's his way of surviving in the industry.
And I definitely don't sit with people who make child porn films.
It's not our fault that Justin Bieber got by Diddy.
It's not our fault that Usher didn't want to get fucked by Diddy anymore. It is not our fault that Usher didn't want to get fucked by Diddy no more.
Yo, son, the nigga wanted to be rich, son.
Listen to me. He turned Justin Bieber into a pocket pussy. The fuck?
To be rich,
They put the
son.
baby on. Yo, I put the coke in your car. Yeah. I put the coke in your car. That Bieber shit is wrong. You gotta walk away.
With that being said,
I put the coke in your car.
She said, acting crazy gives him the freedom to speak truths nobody would believe otherwise. That's not just deep, it's chilling. And it doesn't stop there. Another artist wrapped up in all this mess? Brie Gray from Empire. Multiple sources claim his career took a sharp left turn after he started showing up at certain private parties. Jaguar Wright again came forward, claiming that it was Will Smith who allegedly introduced Brie to Diddy. The details are murky, but the timeline lines up with Brie's sudden downfall.
As far as Will Smith is concerned, until he does right by all of those children that were harmed and corrupted while in his care, children that grew up to be men, boys like Bashir Gray, August Alsina, your own son.
After Empire, his career was looking strong. Then boom, everything crashed. Next thing we know, he's in a strange SWAT standoff, followed by reports of mental health struggles. Industry folks cut him off completely. No more gigs, no calls, nothing. And when you line it all up with everything else coming out, the most unsettling part is how these stories are all starting to sound way too similar. People in the industry have been dropping hints for years, but one voice that's been screaming the truth louder than most is Cat Williams. He's been calling out Diddy's behind-the-scenes behavior for over a decade. In multiple interviews, Cat said he turned down millions just to keep his integrity intact, even claiming he refused shady advances from top industry power players. Back then, folks called it wild talk, but now, it's not sounding so far-fetched. These aren't just random claims anymore. A civil lawsuit filed by Joseph Meseros has flipped everything on its head. In chilling detail, the lawsuit says he was drugged and taken to a Diddy party through an underground tunnel without his consent. And this wasn't some low-key get-together either. According to the suit, big-name celebrities, including major A-list stars, were all there. And it gets even more serious. Court records show that Diddy's legal team has been scrambling to either toss the case or stall it. But the judge wasn't having it. The court ruled that there was enough solid evidence to push the investigation forward. And here's the kicker. Industry whispers say these tapes the FBI's sitting on, they're not just for this case. There's talk that they might expose a much wider web, something way bigger than just Diddy. These tapes might not just take down Diddy, they could be used against every major artist caught up in this mess. That could explain why the industry has been eerily silent. No public support, no real backlash, just a whole lot of quiet. People are scared, and for good reason. One commenter nailed it saying, "This Diddy stuff is not a joke at all. This man been doing this industry stuff for years. They finally got him, and a whole lot of your favorite people are about to get exposed too." Another insider added, "The names we're about to confirm, they're gonna shock you. The Diddy investigation isn't slowing down. It's heating up fast, and it's way bigger than anyone thought. It's not just about one man anymore. This could be the beginning of the end for a lot of powerful figures in the music world." So what do you think? Could these leaked tapes really blow the lid off the industry's darkest secrets? Are we finally watching the hidden side of the music game get dragged into the light? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear what you've got to say. And don't forget, like, subscribe, share this video, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. This story is far from over. And trust me, you'll want to be here for the next drop. See you on the next one.